Greetings everyone and welcome back to Rimworld and to one man and his warg, though also now someone else here as well. What's worse is that someone else doesn't fully appreciate the delicacy that is human norms. And on that note, we need to actually go through here and check on some things. Right, okay, so Lady Wolfheart is being denied other stuff. I'm going to give you regular meals. It's going to make you unhappy because let's have a look at your needs. Right now, you're okay for food, but very soon you are not going to be okay for food. Right, so what we're going to need to do then, obviously it's a high priority for Lady Wolfheart to have her own room, but we need to make sure that Lady Wolfheart has some meals that are not going to drive her into a tantrum spiral. And that actually that brings us on to the topic of how we're going to apportion the meals right now. Because one of the unfortunate side effects of the way that inventory is stacked in Rimworld is if you take two stacks of meals, let's say one fine meal made of humans and potatoes, another stack of fine meals made of, I don't know, elk and rice, if they get added to the same stack, then the entire stack becomes tainted by human meat. For all intents and purposes. You can sort of think of it like a pot of paint. If you've got a pot of red paint and a pot of yellow paint, if you pour the red paint into the yellow paint, you don't now have a pot that is half full of red paint and half full of yellow paint, and you can just take the yellow paint out as you will. You've now got a pot of, well, if you didn't properly mix it, it's probably just kind of a weird spattering of colours, some orange, some, red swirls, some yellow swirls, but realistically, you've now got a pot of orange paint. You can't extract just the yellow or the red once you've mixed it together, and that kind of mechanic works for item stacks. So we want to make sure that any meals made with humans are separate from any meals that are not made with humans. So to that end, let's go ahead and address this problem. We're going to get rid of this entire zone first and foremost. Now, one of the things that we covered very early on was the fact that Dark Aavak is a cannibal. He isn't a savage. And by that, I meant that he wouldn't like to see rotting corpses, so we had to have a mind, and in fact, this freezer was originally just a room to put corpses in case they rotted. Now, we have a different problem, but it's more or less the same mechanic, and that is that Lady Wolfheart doesn't want to see human bodies at all. Dark Aavak is fine with seeing, well-preserved human bodies, because as far as he's concerned, that's just food. It's no different from him than Lady Wolfheart walking into a freezer full of, well, elks. So we need a place where we can store very specifically human bodies. So let's go ahead and set this up. We want it to have a vent so that it is kept cold still. We will name this the Mystery Meat Freezer. There we go. Don't ask what the mystery meat is, Lady Wolfheart. All you need to know is this is a freezer that stores meat, and you also need to know never, ever, ever to go in there. That is everything that matters. There we go. All set up. Now, the rest of the stockpile we're going to want over here, and we'll have this one as just the regular freezer. And this we want to store, well, first and foremost, let's clear everything. Don't allow rotten, obviously, and don't allow any kind of meal, but you can allow chocolate. I mean, hey, realistically, you shouldn't need to put in there, but sure. Every kind of raw food, kibble, I guess. And yeah, sure, we'll pop in hay. We'll also want all of the plant matter and indeed drugs and medicine. We don't strictly need to store it in there like this, but we're going to store it in there anyway. Now, that one, as you've noticed, is not storing meals because we want very specific stockpiles for meals. So this one over here, we're going to call, and it is very important that you rename these so they're easy to notice, easy to pick out of a list. So this one will be basic meals. Actually, we'll change that up a little bit. Basic noms. And the second one, you can probably already guess where this one's going. We're going to call fancy noms. There we are. Now, fancy noms, we want this one to be an important priority. Once again, we want to clear everything. Do not allow rotten. But we want all types of meal and pemmican. Basically, any meal that our colonists can make out of a variety of ingredients. So in the nutrient paste can technically be made It's a bit of an outlier because usually you don't stockpile nutrient paste, but it is possible that you might end up with someone getting a nutrient paste meal at some point and then dropping her on the ground, and then that would need to go into storage. So allow for that, but that's probably the biggest outlier. Everything else, as far as I'm aware, can be made from human meat or not, and that will carry the taint of that. So we want to copy these settings. We want to paste them straight over here. It's exactly the same settings you want. The only thing that should be different is the name. Now down here we want to make sure that this one is set up as preferred, and this one should really be critical. We want to get those bodies out of the way and stored up as soon as possible. On that note, how's it going down here? Is it rotting? It's still fresh. How long? 2.3 days. It's deteriorating though. We need to get down there the next time the insects are asleep. Now with all of that done, we want to go in here, and now we need to set up some builds. Now, I'm going to walk us through this, and I do apologize for keeping the game paused for as long as this, but I think it's pretty important to showcase what I'm doing here, because it's a bit of a nuanced mechanic. So, we're going to start with cooking fine meals, because if we can, I would like to. This meal will be basic. We're not going to use human meat, or indeed insect meat, in this particular meal. And do until you have... Let's say we've got enough room for a few stacks, so sure, go ahead and try to make 10, but understand we'll be making them in batches of 4. So we want to unpause it when we're down to, say, let's say 2, because 2 new batches of 4 will take us up to 10. So there we go. 2, incidentally, is about 1 to 1.5 days worth of food for a colonist who eats that particular type of meal. Now, this is the part where the magic happens. Take 2 basic noms. So whenever you make a meal in this particular build, we can't change the name of the builds, unfortunately. Some mods allow that, and it makes things really easy to work with. But the main part, the only functional part here, is that we need to make sure that this any meal made under this bill is taken to basic noms. And now we simply make another one exactly the same, except for one very, very, very important part, and that is you only make this one out of human meat. So there we go. And exactly the same stats otherwise. Make up to 10. Pause when satisfied. 2. Occasionally we might make more than 10 depending on how we end up, when we make the meals and so on and so forth. But we've got enough room that we could store 2 full stacks easily. And then take this one to fancy noms. And by doing that, we've more or less isolated the meals. We should never have cross-contamination of our food supply. So when someone is hungry, they'll go and grab the meal. They're intelligent enough to grab the meal that is going to have the best overall morale effect for them. So if they have a choice between one meal that's made of people and one meal that's made of not people, and they don't like people meals, they'll eat the one that's not. Whereas a cannibal will go for the one that is, because that will overall give them the best morale effect from eating that meal. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flesh out the remainder of the builds. We need a couple of like basic meals and the likes, and I'll bring you back when we're done with that. And there we go. Magic of post-production. You didn't have to watch me go through all of that. Now, a word on the order that I've got things in. Specifically, I have the basic meals being made ahead of the cannibal meals. And the reason for that, unfortunately this one was already made, so it was just stockpiled, whatever. The reason that we've done that is to prevent a case where Lady Wolfheart is being malnourished because all of the materials we use to make meals that only really Dark Aavak is going to want to eat. Unfortunately, Lady Wolfheart is going to... Oh, are you going to feed? Oh, what a darling. But we don't want a case where Lady Wolfheart is going without cooked food because all of the food has been mixed with human meat, and Dark Aavak's eating like a king, but the rest of the colonists are not. So we want to make the food that everyone can eat. Go for the lowest common denominator first. And then if we've got spares, then Dark Aavak can make some meals that he's going to want more. And as a direct result of that, the basic meals will then stretch further because there's less people trying to eat them. That's the way we're going to work with that. Furthermore, we need to sort out Lady Wolfheart's priorities over here. There we go. We definitely want you wardening as a very high priority. I do want you handling a little bit. I don't want you ever cooking though, because you will make yourself sick if you try. Let's put that one on a 4. In fact, let's leave that one on a 4 as well. There we go. That's a little bit better. Plant cutting, I'll give you that on a 4, because if I want that done, I don't really mind who does it. It could be something like there's a blight on the crops, in which case, if you could, I would like you to help out with that. But there we go. Right, so with that done, Dark Aavak, I know you're sick, mate, but you're almost fully immune now. I'm really sorry, but could you please make Lady Wolfheart some meals? Super, super would appreciate it. How are you doing for food? You're doing fine because you were just fed, but let's get you some food. And while all of that's going down, let's think about Lady Wolfheart's room. Let's have a look over here. I think making a little room over here would be fine. In fact, if we can get away with it, we can make it a potentially quite a large room, actually. Let's dig into the mountain a little bit and just see what we find. Again, we don't really want to get so deep that we start getting to overhead mountain roofs, but I think we should be able to expand this out just enough to make a pretty big room over there, and perhaps Lady Wolfheart will instead then inherit this one, and that one will move on to become a Dark Aavak's room, because as the noble, he has slightly higher needs. He doesn't really. He would if we took him any further, but right now he doesn't. But nevertheless, we need a large room because Yoko also sleeps in there. That makes sense to me. On that note, do we have enough to make Yoko a proper bed? We do. And by proper bed, I mean one made of human skin. Naturally. Come on now. There we go. Fantastic. Right, so Lady Wolfheart's getting plenty of delicious, delicious meals in there. Now we are working on the basic ones. We're only making up to 2. And we're only unpausing once it reaches 0. We don't want to use too much of our materials to make these, if we can avoid it. These are emergency supplies more than anything else, but having 2 gives us about, again, 1.5 days-ish worth of supplies for someone who would like to eat that meal. Now, we're going to allow a little bit of time to pass. Dark Aavak is hopefully going to start making himself some food. What are you doing at the moment? Oh, he's tending to himself. Oh, that's fine. You should be fine. He's just patting himself down for the most part. He doesn't need any better meds at this stage. He's fine. But I'm going to pass a little bit of time. We're going to work on Lady Wolfheart's room, and hopefully I'll have something to report in a few days' time. Well, that didn't take very long. It is still the 12th of Jukers, though it is 11 p.m, and we have a group of outlanders from the northern Waisastan. They've arrived nearby. They'll prepare for a while and then attack. We've also got a quest. A ship to the stars. A friendly AI from your past named Charlton Whitestone has sent you a message. He reveals that he has a starship hidden on this planet and sends you its coordinates. The starship is in deep hibernation mode. You'll have to start it up when you arrive, then defend it from raiders trying to steal it until the startup sequence completes. It will be a long, difficult series of battles. That will be roughly the other side of the planet from where we are. It's always more or less as far away from where you currently are as it's possible on the planet that you have. So if you've got a much smaller landmass, like a 30% generated planet, then it'll be a lot closer. Now, let's go and have a look at the raiders. Is it just one? Unfortunately, they're not going to be going through our insect friends. We could encourage that, though, with a couple of well-placed walls, perhaps. Let's have a look at you. You've got a revolver. What other gear have you got? You have got a flak jacket of excellent quality, a cloth t-shirt of excellent quality, a cloth bowler hat, some flak pants. Ooh, you are well equipped. You are very well equipped. Against Sharp, you're going to be very, very nasty to try and take down. All right, well, maybe we could enhance our odds somewhat if we used... Yeah, I think we're going to need to get some more steel if we can. So, Dark Aavak, could you please focus on mining out this steel? A single steel deadfall trap should be enough to kill basically anyone. If not kill them, then take them down at the very least. So we need a little bit of steel from over there to be able to use this. Lady Wolfheart, in terms of your bio, you're much better at melee than anything else, but we don't have a melee weapon for you, and I really don't want to give you an incendiary launcher. Perhaps we could make you something, though? If we go ahead and pop down a crafting spot, I know it's not exactly the nicest place, but let's have a look at what we could make. We could make a club. Sure, a nice heavy club made out of stone blocks. Don't really care which stone blocks you go for, but I guess I do, actually. How many do we need? 40 ingredients. We have definitely got 40 slates, so go ahead. Make yourself a slate club, if you could. Let's go ahead and get that going right now. As for Dark Aavak, I think we need about 70 steel, so major break risk. Lady Wolfheart is not happy about being woken up, but trust me, this is for the best. We want a steel deadfall trap. Well, actually, these are significantly cheaper than I seem to recall. Let's go ahead and place one here and another one around here. Depending on which way they come up through here, then this may be the better spot to catch them. Dark Aavak, if you could work on those. Work on this one first, please, and then work on that one. There we go. We should be able to thwart their efforts. They're on their way, so I do need to finish that right now. Which way are they going? They might be coming up through here. There we go. Build complete. Well done. Let's get you equipped with that, shall we? As soon as you finish eating your meal. Go ahead and nom, and then equip the steel club. I'll let you finish the noms first. Why are you moving so slowly? Toxic buildup initial. Oh, wow. I feel incredibly bad about this. You've actually... Yeah, you've lived on this planet for a while, I can see. Got dementia, you got a bad back, you've lost hearing in both ears, you've got cancer in your leg, and toxic buildup initial. Yeah, this is what happens to people who spend a little bit too much time here than they should. Can you finish this trap before they get in there? I honestly feel a little bit bad about using a trap on them, frankly. At this rate, Dark Aavak could probably just take them out with the assault rifle. To that end, go ahead, get into this position and see if you can take them down as they round that corner. You're not in the best of defensive positions, but let's see what you can do. And then draw them out if you have to. Can we take the shot? Are you not going to take the shot? Alright then, let's get back over here then, I suppose. And just wait for the deadfall trap to do its thing. And flonk. Yeah, well, I actually, in the end, felt like that was a complete waste. But, oh well, we've got a decent revolver now, at the very least. And we've got someone to haul in. Right, Dark Aavak, if you could haul them into that room, just out of the way, that would be grand. As for Lady Wolfheart, well, I guess we don't strictly need the club now. You are still by far a better fighter when it comes to melee, but when you wake up, go ahead and equip the revolver. The revolver is just a better option for you right now. By far a better option. Let's make sure that we're not butchering them yet. Let's suspend that for now. We don't want to butcher people unless there's actually a reason to butcher them for the time being. Moving forward, we want to try and avoid that where we can. Right, okay, so back to mining, and this room, oh, looks like we might actually be able to get you quite a nice, chunky room. Depending on if this one can also be cut back, this room may actually be a very, very nice site. Really? Lady Wolfheart has fixated her rage on Dark Aavak. That is a mistake. She will follow Dark Aavak around, hurling insults. This happened because of poor mood. Because she slept on the ground. I slept on the ground, therefore I want to die. Please don't commit suicide on Dark Aavak. Okay. We are getting a bit of an upgrade to the barracks. We are still going to have Lady Wolfheart and Dark Aavak effectively share a barrack rather than have two bedrooms, even though I could, at this point, afford to do that, but I would rather have this be a sort of recreation room rather than a bedroom for the time being. I think that one would be reasonably important to do. So we can start separating out rooms a little bit more and stop having to use up so much space for just basic things like a table, chairs, a chess table, so on and so forth. We really do need that human leather, though. Oh, I could make Yoko a pigskin bed for now. It's not what I want to make for her, and we'll upgrade it as soon as we can, but pigskin for now, because we are still having a bit of a rough time in general. Yoko, you can sleep next to Dark Aavak, naturally. Which one is that one going to? Good. There we are. And we'll also go ahead and place down a wall light. Let's pop that wall light. Where do we want it? We can have a little wall light over here, actually, just shining down into the room. Or I could have it behind... It's kind of like a nightstand in a way. We'll smooth out these walls eventually and have a light there as well. Oh, that one getting... Ah, right, there we go. I can just straight up assign it, so I'll assign that one to Lady Wolfheart. There we are. We'll have one light in there for the time being. We are going to want to pop down some nice flooring as well. Oh, that's unfortunate. Lady Wolfheart is not going to be very much pleased about having had to look at our dead raider there. That's a bit of a shame, but oh well. We have taken down the steel bed. I will pop that back up at some point as a medical bed, I think. For the time being, do we have enough marble to make some more small tables? How much do these require? We made it out of marble? Yeah, we've got enough, I would say. Sure, we could have 2. Perhaps we could even go as far as to have a larger table for our colonists. Maybe we should. Let's have a look. A 2x2 instead. You can have that one set up in the corner there. Takes 50 marble blocks, but that wouldn't be a bad move in my opinion. No, not a bad move at all. Actually, we are going to need to bring down some more marble though for that. We've got some blocks over there. I guess if Dark Aavak is feeling nice and healthy, we could allow him to go out, bring in these marble blocks. We've got quite a lot of them over there. Sure, and then you can continue doing a bit of hauling down there as well. I've also taken down our steel spike trap so that we can place that where we want to in the near future. Generally speaking, I feel that that is a better way of dealing with it. Having lots of spike traps prepared but not deployed, and then set them down wherever you want, because it creates a bit more of a mobile defense in that way. And generally speaking, I prefer to have the defense is more mobile than not. Right, let's go ahead and place that down. We could get... We are not going to use our precious wood stocks for dining chairs. No, I mean that is a massive show of wealth, but no. We will instead continue to have just regular steel chairs. And in fact, if we place something like this, we could have the chess table just between them. We install that one right there. In fact, let's get... let's cancel it. We'll have the chess table right between them, sure. Cancel this. Move this one across. There we are. And then this can go away as well as this. I mean, do we really need another table? No, not really. Let's go ahead and deconstruct that one completely. We do want a light in here, though. And we should probably get that one up and running sooner rather than later. Pop that one there. And in fact, we'll have another one on that side. And then we can strip this one down completely. There we are. Marvellous. I do like it when everything goes our way. Of course, having said that, Randy is going to go out of his way now to make everything go against us. But, well, we're just playing this game on hard mode. Even harder mode, rather. It's fine. Welcome back, everyone. It is the 2nd of September, and whilst you were away, Lady Wolfheart and Dark Aavak have managed to somewhat improve the barrack. It's slowly getting there, but we are all but out of food at the moment. Hopefully, the corn will be ready before everyone gets hungry tomorrow. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, you're full. Dark Aavak can just eat raw human meat. That should be fine. But we are going to have to start worrying about that reasonably soon. We have been doing a fair bit of work overall, and generally speaking, I mean, it's a dull barrack at this point, but still, that's better than an awful barrack. It's a -5 instead of a -7. Overall, moods are being maintained, but they could be a little bit better, I must confess. Dark Aavak is, thankfully, healthy enough to be heading outside. He's only 2.1. Generally speaking, he spends so little time outside right now that he can just settle down of an evening and will be largely recovered by the time the morning comes around. Now, I've set out a little area over here. We're going to change this into a new stockpile, which I would very much like to copy the settings from over here. Let's go ahead, copy those settings, and paste them in right there. There we go. We should be able to get some of the items in and out of the way. We've got the quest, the deserter. Ha ha ha! Now, this one is an important one. 8 days. Heraclos Ragabe, a child spy, is calling from nearby. He has deserted the army of the Broken Empire and is being hunted by a loyalty squad. He wishes to join you at Noble Rest. Ragabe knows the location of key outposts containing everything needed to develop secret psychic powers. A Psi Trainer for stun, a Psi Trainer for vertigo pulse, a Psi Trainer for wall raise, psionic silencer, and a psychic amplifier. Beware, if you accept this, you will become an enemy of the Broken Empire. The pursuing loyalty squad will attack immediately. It is composed of 2 troopers. Only accept if you wish to fight against the Broken Empire and develop your psychasticity in secret without gaining royal titles. You will have 1 year to attack the outpost before it is removed. Now, there is no particular guarantee that the outpost will have any kind of easy garrison for us to attack. It might actually be incredibly hard to go to this outpost. This one will be a bit of an issue, honestly. Now, we've got 8 days, and it's quite possible that the Broken Empire will give us a couple of quests which will bump up our standing with them. So we're going to let that sit for a couple of days. If we can, by some extremely good luck, end up with enough stockpiled quests that we can do for the Broken Empire that will raise their opinion of us, then we may be able to take that and then immediately complete a bunch of other quests for them that will bring us back to, well, perhaps not good standing, but at least not awful standing. And that would be a big, big help for us. A big help indeed, because we really don't necessarily want to get into a fight with them. Still, I think that we may end up going for this option, even if a fight is the necessary price to pay for it. I think the idea of having a couple of rebels here would be good. And it is possible that we might be able to improve our relations with them anyway, outside of everything else. Ooh, duck eggs, unfertilized. Are they all unfertilized duck eggs? That's a bit of a shame, but okay. I accept. Dark Aavak, can you go and collect those duck eggs for me? There we go. Once you've done whatever you're doing, there we are. You got a bit of a long trek, but it should be fine. Good girl, Yoko. We just need one last... Ah, damn. Lady Wolfheart will be a little bit unhappy at having had to observe the corpse, but thankfully, it's not too bad. It'll expire in 11 hours. There we go. 73 duck eggs. Not bad at all, I must say. That was actually quite nice. Okay, well, given that we might be having someone else joining us reasonably soon, I should probably look to set all of that up if we can. There we go. Right, let's have a look. Quest active, the rescue of Sam. Okay, let's have a look at you. Kiospus, a high stellarch of the Broken Empire, says that his friend has been wounded while traveling. The victim is Sam, a 45-year-old bush sniper. Kiospus has nobody to spare to rescue Sam, but says that if you can make it to Sam's position and rescue her, she will join you. Says that there may be an unknown threat. See, I would have much preferred something that had goodwill. Got 12 days on that one, though. Okay. Well, we are definitely playing with fire with this particular strategy, but I'm not against it. I'll be honest. I think it's going to be quite fun, actually. Now, are our corn plants ready to harvest? They are. Glorious. Let's get all of that amazing corn all harvested right now. Do I want to make this rice instead? What kind of soil is it? It is just regular fertility soil. I think no. We'll keep going with corn then, I guess. For the time being, it should be fine. Let's just get everything down here we can. There we go. Making some fine meals. There we are. Stack of 4 fine meals that everyone can eat. Marvelous. There we are. Let's get a couple more as well. Okay, so things are starting to come together, but we've now got a potential of getting 2 new colonists. That happened a lot sooner than I anticipated. I'm not going to lie. All right. Well, we're going to need to set up some more bedrooms. For now, we could set up another, well-appointed barrack. It's not the best. People aren't super happy with that, but it's certainly not the worst either. Let's have a look at your needs. You've no longer got a debuff for your barrack, which is great. Okay, so based on that, you're content to have that as your room. You're not happy, but you're content. And that is all I need right now. Let's have a look over here. Yeah, we should be able to make a decent-sized barrack over there as well then. Though this one will be far away from our main group of buildings, which will mean it won't get the benefit of the heating. And this is the problem here. Generally speaking, you want a heat pipe, and that every building pulls off that heat pipe, because the way it works is currently this little area here is reasonably warm, or I should imagine it is. Or is it? too cold outside, perhaps? Let's have a look. Yeah, indoors 49 degrees, 24, 21. Now that 21 is being partially sustained by this heater because every room it goes through, it loses a lot of the heat. It doesn't transfer perfectly, obviously. So these aren't balancing. You're losing, each room is getting colder and colder and colder. So while by the time you're 4 rooms deep, that's not a particularly warm place anymore at all. So we do want to consider that. If we had a single heat pipe, then this room, even if like 6 different rooms were coming off that heat pipe, the heat would only step down once into each of those rooms, rather than 4 times by the time you get there. I think what we'll probably do is we will have the barrack over here, and we'll just have a heater and a cooler around here somewhere. Maybe even a little heat chamber at the side, and then we could have 2 rooms either side that will just pull from that one heater. That might actually not be a bad idea, all things said and done. But for the time being, Dark Aavak is making sure that we've got plenty of meals there, which I'm very happy to see. We'll now make a couple of spare basic meals, and then work on harvesting some more of the plants. Fantastic. But hopefully we're going to be able to get a couple of extra things set up. Now, poison wild boars. Let's have a look at this one. This is a quest for a trader is calling from near Noble Rest. A pack of 5 wild boars are hunting him. He wants to draw the animals away from him and toward you. The trader promises to send you transport pods in return. The pods contain total value of 385. A power claw. Wow. Really? For 5 man-hunting boars? Okay. Combat-oriented hand replacement consisting of a mechanical hand with a vicious claw on each finger. It is vicious in combat, and its powerful mini servos can crush a skull like a natural hand crushes an egg. The blades can be retracted, making it useful as a biological hand for non-combat tasks. Well, well, well. This is an interesting one. Now, I can't give that to Dark Aavak because it's a hand replacement, and he's got fully bionic arms, but we may be looking for some Healer-Mech serums in the future to return a lost limb and then replace it with some of the new bionics that are available in Royalty. But we'll definitely take this quest, I think. That would be very well worth it. How long do we have? Okay, they'll be here in 18 hours. We could easily set up some defenses for that. I think this is a grand plan. Okay, let's go ahead and get some steel deadfall traps made. Let's make 4 of them. We've easily got the steel for that. And then with that, depending on the way we encourage the wild boars to attack, we may be able to get all of them down with that. Solar flare? Oh, I guess that isn't so bad. Still, we are now actually relying on electrical equipment, so it's not great either. But I really had hoped that we would get something from the Broken Empire to maybe offset going Rebel. We'll see. We will see. Do let me know down in the comments, though, what your thoughts are. Whether we should continue to focus on the Imperial path, or do you feel that going Rebel early is a better way for us? Because there's no reason why we can't begin Imperial and then turn Rebel later on. We don't necessarily need to take this option right now just because it's presented to us right away. We can wait and we can decide to turn against the Empire later, in a bit more of a clandestine kind of route. Pretend to be friends for a little while, get into their good graces, and then eat the Stellarch when he's here on a vacation. It'll be fine. Okay, all of the Deadfall traps are ready, and Dark Aavak is quickly getting the corn resown, and in fact harvesting some of the potatoes. I want to let him do that before we accept this quest, though that being said, the quest will send the boars to us later on, so there's actually no reason for us not to accept it now. I do want to take this, so sure, I accept the quest. 5 man-hunting boars are going to be coming to join us in the reasonably near future, which is not going to be the greatest of times, but we'll see how that pans out. Okay, the Deadfall traps have been stowed. That's good. We still need a little bit more A little bit more marble to finish off in that room. I'd also kind of like it if Dark Aavak could go and grab as much of these blocks as we could. That would be grand. Let's get those all brought in as soon as you have a chance. Once you finish playing chess against yourself, then we can take care of that. It's up to 26 there. That's good. Okay, not going too badly. This room, of course, is crazy hot, but that's fine. There we are. Marvellous. Right. Okay, so we're going to be waiting on the boars showing up for the time being. We should be okay. We have 6 hours on the poison boars. And the rescue of Sam, 11 days. All right. Well, where is Sam exactly? Let's have a quick look. How far out is Sam? Now, we could always take this quest after we choose to go rebel, if indeed we do want to go rebel. I will be including a poll on the video. If you have access to YouTube cards, then it'll be a little eye at the top right of your YouTube video, which you can click on and you can vote in the poll. If you don't have access to that, because I know some devices make it a little bit more convoluted, then just let me know down in the comments and we'll see how things go. But I will probably make that decision in the next video to give people chance to get involved in the decision as well. And in fact, we'll probably be using quite a few polls and general votes to see how we progress the settlement just going forward with the series. I always enjoy that kind of stuff. Right, how are we going, Dark Aavak? We're bringing some of these in. Well, sure, let's get those hauled, actually, if you want to. Let's have a look on that quest. 10 hours remain. Oh, is it 6? Oh, right, it's counting up. I see. Interesting. So once that turns to 18, then we'll know that that's when the boars are coming. Now, I'm not going to place down our defenses until I know which direction they're coming from, because if they're coming from over here, they're going to come through there, whereas if they come down from on this side, they might come through up on that side. So I want to see where they're moving from first before we set these out and try and trap them. That's okay, Yoko. They're good noms for you. Bless you. The duck eggs are going to be fine. Honestly, those duck eggs were pretty good. Right, so they're coming from the very bottom of the map. There we go, coming straight up. Means they're going to be going through here. Okay, so this is now a high priority. We need to get these at a couple of the choke points. Let's install these at a couple of spots. Let's get this one down as well. Around here would do, I would say. We'll probably catch one there. Then we're going to want one out here, because they're almost certainly going to go through that one. And finally, we're going to want one about there. So let's get on this right now. You work on that one and that one. Lady Wolfheart, if you could work on these two. And then finally, Dark Aavak, if you could work on that one afterwards as well. We need to get these set up right away. Lady Wolfheart, what are you equipped with? You've got the revolver. Okay, good. Let's get these traps down in place. There we go. The first one is coming through. Okay, Lady Wolfheart, I don't think we're going to have time. One you might do. Let's cancel that. We'll reposition that one, I think. Would like this one to be installed there. Can you get on that for me? Perfect. Dark Aavak can get on that one as well. Let's get this done. One down. Good. May have to stop the installation. 2 down. Quickly. The last one skipped. Okay, Lady Wolfheart, gonna cancel this. I need you to get ready for a fight. Go here, Dark Aavak. Get into the fight. We don't need to worry about them. We should be able to take them out with our weapons as is. Lady Wolfheart, you can shoot from behind Dark Aavak. That should be fine. There we go. That revolver will stop things if it hits them. It has got a lot of stopping power. There we go. Nice. We may not have to use this one up after all. Just keep it going. If it gets over there, never mind. We did use it in the end, but that's fine. That worked about as well as it could have worked. And we've got so much meat now. Oh, truly. This is marvelous. Go ahead and uninstall this one, though. And we'll cancel the rebuilding of this one. We don't need it to be rebuilt. Just haul everything back. There we are. That was very, very good indeed. I would like this one hunted, Dark Aavak. If you could do the honors, please. Go ahead and hunt that boar. And everything else should be able to be brought inside. Well, that went genuinely about as well as it could have gone. Very happy with that. And here is the pod. Perfect. Could you... I'm going to give Lady Wolfheart unrestricted access to the world. Could you please put that power claw inside? That is worth redonkulous amounts, and that will come in very handy later on. There we go then. Let's get everyone. You can go ahead and you can have your food now. You've done a very good job, everyone. I'm very, very proud of you. Well done indeed. And Dark Aavak isn't even getting sick right now, so that's actually pretty good as well. Got plenty of potatoes, plenty of corn for the next little while, and we're going to have a load of boar meat as well. I am so happy. Right, let's add in a butcher job. Generally speaking, the problem with butcher jobs is do until you have, it'll count meat. So it won't care what you're butchering. Now, if you butcher an elephant versus butcher a squirrel, that elephant might give it a wallop load of meat. Now, I believe meat can stack up to 75. So let's say until we've got let's say 4 stacks of meat, then pause until we've got less than 75. At that point, start butchering again. That should be fine. They should be counting anywhere really, but take it to the freezer. That's all we really need from that. And anyone can do this job. The butchering human-like, however, only Dark Aavak is allowed to do this because anyone else doing this would make them very upset to have done it. So we'll leave that one there and pretty much butcher forever. When we've got a bunch of corpses to be done, I just want you to butcher all of the corpses that we have. Again, we want to get all of that nastiness out of the way as quickly as you can. As soon as you're able to, though, if we could get those corpses indoors, that would be fantastic. Perfect. There we go. We're going to get a lot of pigskin from this. An awful lot of pigskin, actually. There we go. There's the second. We're getting 69 bits of meat from each one. That is fantastic. Yeah, this is going to be really nice. Now, the reason why, generally speaking, I don't want to butcher if we've already got a massive stock of meat is because in some cases, a single corpse will hold more than 1 tile's worth of meat. That isn't the case with boars, but you can't really control it. It doesn't care what type of animal you're butchering. You can only count the amount of meat that's available. So we need to focus on that. But that is absolutely fantastic there. And if we have a look in here, that bill is now paused. Currently got 350 of 300, and that is going to do us for many, many fine meals for quite a while, actually. So I'm really, really happy with that. Really happy about that. Now, one of the things that I did actually forget to touch on here, and this was a bit of a mistake on my part, is that the way that we're pausing the meals means that, realistically speaking, if we've made all of these meals available, Dark Aavak will never make any of his meals because it pauses the queue once we have over a certain amount. So we actually do need to tell Dark Aavak that he's allowed to make quite a lot of human noms for that to work. So we'll go ahead and we'll tell you to get all of that done there. Oh, actually, sorry, these are the fine meals. These should be... no, actually, these are the human meat fine meals, I believe. Yes, they are. Good. Right, and you can go ahead and unpause this once we've got 10. So... this should always be active, realistically speaking. So that way, this will still be active even if we have made a full amount of the basic meals. You do have to jump through a lot of hoops, unfortunately, whenever you're dealing with trying to separate human containing meals of the same type, so simple meals and simple meals, for example. So we'll say you can have 4 of these and I'm paused at 2. There we go, and that should do, and Dark Aavak should try and make those meals where possible. It will take a little while. In fact, he will make them because I've unfortunately told him he's allowed to make them with animal products. But that is a mistake, so let's go ahead and adjust that one. Let's turn off animal products completely. The only time you can make these is if you're using human meat and vegetables. There we go. That will work for us. I believe you can actually make it with human meat and animal products, which is why I allowed it initially. But in this case, it should be fine. In fact, the basic meals you make should only be made with human meat. Let's turn off vegetarian entirely. There you go. that has fixed that up. I do apologize for that rather obvious mistake. I'm sure a lot of you spotted that earlier on, but there we are. It's fixed, and now we're going to find out who posts their comments before they finish watching the video. I could pretend that that was intentional. It absolutely is not, though, so no, I was just a derp. But a derp who noticed his mistake reasonably soon enough, I would say. Now, if we have a look back at our quests, we have 5 days to decide what we're going to do with the deserter. Well, again, I think we will be going down to a poll on that one. Oh, cold snap. Now, that's going to be a bit of an issue. But as I was saying, we're going to be having a poll, and I will be, tallying up the comments as well. So if you can't vote on the YouTube card, then don't worry, just post a comment down below. But with this, the overall temperature is already so low that we're probably not outputting much heat in this area. Well, not too much heat, but it's going to get a lot colder, and our cooler is simply not going to have to do any work. That is a problem for us, which means we now need to get a second heater. We don't necessarily need that to be engaged, but if we pop the heater over there, it'll just help out that little bit in keeping everything nice and warm. In fact, I could turn the heaters up a little bit more. I think what we've got right now should be enough, though. I don't think we really need to worry over much, but perhaps getting a second battery at this stage would be a wise move as well, because it is going to be pretty rough for us. So we want to have that little bit of extra power, because we do not and cannot afford for our power to go down for any reason at this point. Now, in terms of research, we're coming a long way, and I'm actually really, really happy with that. We've also done a bit of work over here, so let's continue pushing this back if we can afford to. Yes, we can. Marvelous. So we can have some nice buildings over here. And in fact, again, we may actually have a heat pipe over here with maybe 2 heaters and 2 coolers, so that we can deal with any kind of inclement weather, whether heat wave or cold snap. And that's where we'll keep the barracks. So everyone will be able to sleep in a temperature controlled environment, if nothing else. Now, once we've got access to a tailoring bench and we can make some really warm clothes, we can actually start to dig into the mountains and go into the overhead mountain areas, as long as we chill those locations down to around -18, -19 degrees. The threshold is -17, but if you can pull it down just a little bit more, it gives you a bit of a buffer. And at that point, we can start using these spaces for other things. Obvious one use would be a freezer. And then you could have the rooms on the rim of the mountain warmed up by the waste heat from the coolers, which are keeping the interior nice and cold. Okay, a pack of man-hunting huskies. Oh, why have you got to send all the doggos at me? Okay, how many we got? 3 huskies that I can count. Now, they might approach from any direction. All right. We've only got 2 of these to install. But let's set them up. And one down here as well. In fact, let's set both of these up down here, because realistically, that's where we're going to want to encourage them to come towards us. There we go. If we could get those going up right now, that would be ideal. And Lady Wolfheart, I'm afraid I'm going to have to pull you away from that job. I need you to set these up right now. 3 huskies are really not going to be much of a problem for us overall, but it is still not something we want to take lightly. Dark Aavak, you're going off to cook. I'm afraid you are not anymore. You are instead going to be stood out here with Yoko as your backup. And Lady Wolfheart, sure, let's... actually, if we pop you down there and have Dark Aavak draw back a little bit, then Yoko shouldn't get in the front. There we go, 1 down. Come on, guys, need you a little bit better now. Second one about to go down. Well done. And... release. Yoko, you can finish that one off. Lady Wolfheart, you can go about your other business. Dark Aavak, I want you to melee attack this one. Move in, use your bionic limbs. You and Yoko fighting your mutual enemy. It's the sort of bond that you can't get any other way, really. Right, okay, let's have a look at how that fight went down. Dark Aavak's assault rifle bullet passed within meters of the husky. Lady Wolfheart's revolver bullet flew into the air. Dark Aavak's assault rifle bullet missed by a wide margin, then hit the husky with an assault rifle bullet. Assault rifle bullet hit the husky. Dark Aavak, wielding his bionic arm, deftly hit the husky with a strike from his bionic arm, bruising her body and spine. Yoko tore the husky with her razor fangs, biting her right ear. The husky chomped Yoko, gnawing on her front right leg. Dark Aavak used his fist competently to smash the husky, smashing her front right leg in a retaliatory strike. Yoko nipped the husky in the left ear viciously. Missing a left ear caused the husky to drop. There we go. Well done, Yoko. Went for the ears. I like it. Okay, well, let's hunt this husky. We have got a lot of food now, which is quite amazing. Could you kill the husky and then treat Yoko, please? If Yoko would go back to somewhere where she can be healed. She's in no immediate danger. Knowing Yoko, she's probably just going to stand there and not go back. Oh, no, you are. Oh, well done, Yoko. No. I need you to tend to Yoko, please, and thank you. Prioritize tending Yoko. And of course, Yoko, Glitterworld meds. Let's make sure that's all properly set up. There we are. Glitterworld meds, please, and thank you. There we are. Everything is as it should be. On that note, we are... Really? What? This frustrates me deeply. I mean, okay, don't use Glitterworld meds because she's just bleeding a little bit from her paw, but at least give her the same sort of meds as everyone else gets, you scoundrels. I blame pharmacists for this. 100%. We are not going to have to worry about hauling these huskies inside very quickly because they're under a roof and it's also minus 13 outdoors. It's actually warmer in our freezer, probably. No, it's basically the same temperature. Okay, well, that's not too bad then. It is going to be really rough, though, for a time getting the heat in this area. People are going to get cold, and people are going to get grumpy because they're cold. It is a shame. I know, major break risk there. Dark Aavak, could we get the metal mined so that we can hopefully get that heater set up and running? We do need it, I feel. Quite badly, in fact. Yoko, you feeling better? Where is she? She's feeling a little bit better. She doesn't want to be without Dark Aavak for too long. She knows he's out there having adventures without her. Thank you very much, Lady Wolfheart. Oh, you're just holding it. Well, that's okay, I guess. Right, we are going to want to set up some more Deadfall traps, but for the time being, I'm going to disable that. I just want to focus on getting the heater built for now. And in fact... yeah, how about you stick to the roofed region for the time being? Just do what you have to. Try and maintain your temperature where you need to. And Dark Aavak, if you could work on that as soon as you're done there, that would be grand. We need that heater up and running. In fact, let's push this all the way up to 22. 22 degrees there on both of them. That should help out a fair old bit, honestly. How warm is this room? That doesn't need to be warm at all. So if you could close that down as well, that would be grand. But there we are. I mean, you know, there's a bit of dirt around the place, but overall, I think that's a good place for us to wrap up. We've got 3 husky corpses to carry into the freezer, a freezer full of food and meat and eggs, and very importantly, tea. I think things are going reasonably well. We've actually got quite a lot of meals available for us. Duck, eggs, and corn in the fancy noms. I mean, you know, to be fair, duck, eggs, and corn is probably quite a nice meal. So I'm okay with that. But we are also working towards building some new rooms because depending on the way the vote goes, we may need a new room right now. But we also do want to try and rescue Sam. So we are possibly going to have 2 new colonists or maybe just 1, depending on how things play out. But that is going to be it for me for now. I really hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Do let me know down in the comments if you do, or with a like on the video. But until next time, and as always, from myself, Dark Aavak, Yoko, and of course Lady Wolfheart, do take care.